Hi Flosstube, I'm Tamara. I am PD Stitcher here on YouTube and over on Instagram, and this is my channel about cross stitch. Welcome to all of you, old friends and new friends. If you are returning, thank you for coming back. Thank you for your comments, your likes, your subscribes. Just thank you for your friendship. If you are new here, if you've just stumbled across me this morning or this afternoon or this evening, whenever you're watching, it's morning here. I hope you see something you like and you stick around. I always love having new friends. Today is January 3rd, 2021. That's exciting to say. Happy New Year. I'm hoping, and I'm sure all of you are also hoping, that 2021 will be better, be different than 2020 was. I wish I could predict the future and say that it will, but we are just going to keep hoping and praying that things will continue to improve. So it's a new year. I've decided I'm going to be more focused in my stitching, and instead of stitching on 8, 9, 10, 15 things in a week to try and meet a bunch of prompts, I'm going to focus on just a few things each month. And if I can fit in some other things, great, but I really want to hit my focus pieces. So this morning I'm going to show you the whips that I'm working on this week. No finishes, no FFOs. And for those of you who are not familiar with what an FFO is, it's a fully finished object or a finally finished object. Yeah, I don't have those. I tend to finish stitching, put the stitching in a drawer, and my goal this year is to get some of those stitched items that are in a drawer finished and up for display in my home. I would love to put something there so that I have something stitchy behind me. But what I want to put there would be a big piece. And it takes me a while to do big pieces. So in about 20 years, when I'm ready to move out of this house, something will go right there. And then it won't matter. Or if I can figure out something. Maybe I'll put my months that I'm working on, and I'll show one of those in a minute. Maybe I'll put one of those right there each month. So, and then I've got a little bit of haul, not much, and that's it. Some plans. So let's get started. So last week I showed you that I had a Christmas Eve start. And I started Gingerbread Hollow from the Victoria Sampler. And I got I know I brought my whiteboard in here. And then I proceeded to put it under things. But this will allow you to see it a little bit better. I got quite a lot of the white done. In fact, no, that's not all of the white. There's a bit more white. I got quite a bit of the white done. I got some of the tree. I think I'm going to continue when I go back to this. I've decided I'm going to do 3 days on a new start. So I think I worked on this 4. I did Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I showed it to you Sunday morning. I worked on it a little bit more Sunday afternoon and evening. And then once I've done 3 or 4 days, I'm going to put it aside and go back to my focus pieces for that month. I'm doing Whip Go. Jessie Marie from Jessie Does Stuff here on YouTube, on Flosstube, has created Whip Go. She created it a couple years ago. You create your own bingo board. You put your goals in 24 of the spaces. You can choose 25. I choose the middle space to be a free space, so it's 1 space already done. And then she chooses 2 numbers each month, and those are your focus goals. So this month, I haven't even started. Today's the 3rd. I have not started on either of the 2 goals. And I don't even have them with me. If I'd thought ahead, I'd have brought them in here to show them during plans. But those will be my focus pieces. And then once I finish those, then I can come back to things like this. Because this was really fun to work on. This is Under the Sea Winterbrook, 32 count. And I'm doing it 2 over 2. Yes, 2 over 2. And I'm using needlepoint ink and something else. Hold for a moment. Let me look. And Chronic Mori silks. And oh my goodness, if I could afford to use silks on every project from now until I stop stitching, I would, because they stitch so smoothly and so beautifully. So this is Gingerbread Hollow. And I'm going to be putting stuff back in the bags after I speak about them, because otherwise I'll have a huge mess. But this is it's housed in my Garon Totten Bags bag with the butterflies that I love. It doesn't exactly go with Gingerbread Hollow, because this is more springy and Gingerbread Hollow is definitely winter. But I love it. And if I had a bag for every project, I would make them match. I don't, because most of my projects are in the Amazon bags like this, which is fine because they hold projects just as well as the nice fancy bags and they don't cost as much. So when I do have a fancy bag, I like to put my favorite projects in those. So the next one I'm working on was my New Year, New Start. And I'm doing the entire thing, but this is the block I'm starting with, is block number 2, which goes up in the top corner. So I always start in the top left corner, so I'm starting with this block. I do have that pattern. I have all 13 of the patterns, but I don't like to start in the middle. So I'm working on this one. When it rains, look for rainbows. When it's dark, look for stars. I started it New Year's Day. So I've done 2 days worth of work on it. And I'm doing Snowball Fight with Semi-Sane Stitchers, which is a somewhat closed group. You can get in if you know someone who will vouch for you. You have to know them. You can't just say, I saw it on so-and-so's Flosstube. It needs to be somebody who has interacted with you, talked to you, has a relationship with you in some way. And then will say, yes, I know this person, I know they are a stitcher, and not you. So the group has grown a lot since I joined a couple years ago, a year and a half ago. So I understand their need to kind of keep it safe from just random people being able to come in. So this is what I've done, and I cannot put things in a Q-snap straight. It was in a Q-snap straight. This is on 32 count white chalkboard black. And I like the color. I like how dark it is. I don't like this fabric. It's slick. And so it shifts. And the other day when I was stitching, and as you can see, I have not pulled all of this extra, because this is going to be a big piece when you have all 13 pieces together. And I was sitting, stitching, and my dog came and sat beside me and sat down on the extra fabric, which is why I really need to roll it up and put it in a grime guard, or at least do the little magnet things. But he sat on it, and when I tried to move it, it pulled off the Q-snap edges and the clamps and shifted it. And I was in the middle of stitching and too lazy to readjust my fabric, so now it's slanted, but that's okay. When I move from this one, I've actually done quite a bit on this in 2 days. These stitch up. You can't really see it without something behind it because of the light. But this stitches up really, really quickly. So, like I said, in 2 days, I've got the whole border for this block and a good bit of the words and the rainbow. The light is not really catching the colors. It's 7:25 on Sunday morning. according to my watch, sunrise was at 7:21. So there's not a whole lot of light coming in from the window here. So I've got a lamp, and my overhead light. It's as bright as I'm going to be able to make it in here until the sun comes up. So, but I have 5 children and a husband and a dog. I like to get these filmed before everybody's up. Otherwise, it's a little noisy. One of my girls is up. She went out for a run. She is my dedicated runner, and I made her take 2 weeks off of running. Today is her first day back, so she might be gone for a while because she has been looking forward to getting to run again. But it's good once every 6 months to take a 2-week break. 1 week to completely not run and give your body a rest. And the second week, this past week, she was able to do some cross training, so she could do weights, she could ride a bike, she could go for walks, she could race walk, which is another thing that she does competitively, but not run. Today she can run. So she left about 7:15, 7:10 to go get a run in. And the last thing I've worked on is going to be my focus piece. This is not one of the Whip Go focus pieces, but it's my focus piece. Is January. I started this. This is from the Cricut collection. Words to Live By is from Tiny Modernist. Forgot to say that. But this is January from the Cricut collection. And I started this back in Mania. I started the first 6 months, January through June. I have finished March, April, May, and June. January, I got all the way through the second A. I got all the way through the second A when I did it for my focus piece. So I worked on it the one day in Mania, and then I did it as a focus piece in July and got all the way through the second A. So now it's going to be a focus piece again. February will be a focus piece to finish the last couple of letters in February. But I'm close. Like I said, I got all the way through the second A when I worked on this in July. And take one side of the Q snap off so you can see how far I've gotten. So I have done almost all of the R now. Like I said, I've been doing Snowball Fight. I started that story, didn't like it. And so it's 300 stitches to get a snowball so that you can throw it at somebody, and 100 stitches to recover if you've been hit by a snowball. So my Words to Live By is my making a snowball piece. My January is my recovering from a snowball piece. I got hit with a snowball yesterday, did 100 stitches, and then realized I didn't take the starting pictures, so I'm going to do 100 more. But it's going to get me even closer to a finish. So I'm working on this. I'm using my focus pieces to do the different prompts and different games. So this should be done in the next week or so. And then my 2 projects that were called for Whip Go were 2,000 Stitches on Christmas 2, which is artwork by Sarah Marcelli, and it's charted by Haid. So it's my first ever Haid, and I started it in 2019. I've done 3 pages. I'm on page 4, I think. So 2,000 Stitches will get me a good bit through the rest of that page. And then the other is Advent Animals from Brooks Books Publishing. And I've started all of those. I started one each day in July for Christmas in July. So I've started all of them. And then my goal for this month is to finish 5. So I'm going to do 1 through 5 and finish those up. 1, 2, and 3 I am almost done with. So I think it may be 100 stitches. We'll finish those up. So those should not take me long. So I should have some extra time this month to work on, maybe go back to Words to Live By, because today is my last day working on it, to go back to Gingerbread Hollow or one of the other 48 whips that I have in my rotation. So we'll see. Maybe hit some prompts. I've decided that if what I'm working on, if one of my focus pieces fits a prompt, great, I'll work on it. If it does not, I'll do penalty stitches, or I just won't do that prompt. But I'm not going to pull out 57 different things just to fit prompts, because I felt like I didn't make enough progress on any one thing last year by doing that. So let's go to haul. That was plans. So let's go to haul. My October and November fabrics of the month from Crazy Annie's came in. They are Picture This Plus, 32 count. I don't think I need the board photos. I think they'll show up. The first one is Icon, which is a gorgeous blue. There we go. That's about the right color. It's a gorgeous blue. I think I already have a plan for this piece, but I'm not sure yet. It's either going to go on this or the next one, which is 32 count Dapple, which is a lighter blue-gray. There, I think that might show the color. But as you can see, it's lighter. It just depends on the floss colors and which one they'll show up better on. But I have a plan. It will be a gift for one of my neighbors who they're just super sweet. But I haven't decided yet on fabric or bought the pattern. I have the pattern in mind. It's on my wish list on 1, 2, 3 Stitch, so I know to go get it. But this next one is Hermosa, which is, oh my gracious, gorgeous. And look, I need a third hand. Look at this modeling in here. Is that not gorgeous? Absolutely beautiful. I have no idea what I'm going to do on this, but it needs to be something where the fabric can also shine, because this is just beautiful. Maybe a monochromatic in white or yellow. Yellow would look pretty on here. Not normally a yellow person, but some things just call for yellow. This last one is Relic, and I love it. It is a beautiful neutral tan with a good bit of modeling. Kind of an orangish tan. It's not, there we go. I think that might be showing up good. So, I'm not sure what I'm going to use this for either, but I know it can be used for a good number of things because it's such a good neutral. So, life update. It's the new year. My watch is binging at me, reminding me to drink some water. I'll do that as soon as I'm done, which won't be much longer. I forgot to bring my cup in here today. It's a new year. Got a lot of plans for getting a good bit of stitching done, getting some progress on some of these whips and not just putting in a couple stitches here and there. School's here. We homeschool, so it doesn't really affect us, but it kind of does. Schools here have decided the public schools are going to go virtual for the next 2 weeks. A couple of the private schools are going to take another week off for Christmas break so that people can continue to, I say continue to, they haven't been, staying at home so that when they do go back to school, they've not been around a bunch of people. Our numbers here are still going up. I'm kind of glad I've already had COVID. Hopefully my immunity will last a little bit longer, but the rest of my family hasn't, and I'm trying to keep them safe. So, but like I said, it doesn't affect us. We homeschool, but it does because one of my girls runs track. One of my girls wants to play soccer for the local middle school. She's a 7th grader this year, so it's her first year she can, and no extracurriculars until school starts back in person in 2 weeks. So their first day would be the 18th that they could potentially have practices. So we'll see. I don't know if they'll be able to start then either. We had the opportunity to go to an indoor meet for track on the 17th. We turned that down. Outside track, great. Outside soccer, great. Outside is great. Inside, where it's all recycled air, and even if everybody wears masks, I don't feel comfortable with my family in that situation. So we're going to skip that this year. We're just going to skip indoor season. It'll be the first year in several that we've not done an indoor meet at all, but that's okay. So I want to leave you with a quote for the day. I've struggled with anxiety, worry, whatever you want to call it. I call it anxiety for a very long time, most of my life, if not all of my life. But I'm working on that. But I came across this quote this morning and I loved it. It's from Corrie ten Boom. And if you don't know who that is, you should really look her up. She's got an amazing story. She was a prisoner in a concentration camp during World War II. And just has an amazing story. And these are her words. No, you kind of have to know her background to hear her words. Worrying is carrying tomorrow's load with today's strength, carrying 2 days at once. It is moving tomorrow ahead of time. And this is the part that just spoke to me. Worrying doesn't empty tomorrow of its sorrow. It empties today of its strength. Man, I do not want to empty my strength for today. I need it to get through today. So I'm going to leave worrying alone and just focus on one step at a time in today's strength. So with that being said, I hope you all stay happy, stay healthy, and keep stitching. Bye.